Hello, everybody. Tom Nappy here, and we are with the Hopkinton High School Athletic Director, Ricky Andrade. Ricky, how are you?
Doing great, Tom. How you doing?
Fantastic. So we got fall season coming up. Are you ready? How's the everything going?
It's going well. We're ready to go. Getting the fields ready, making sure everything is up and ready to go, and looking forward to seeing some 500 kids over the next week.
Absolutely. Last year was your first year as Hopkinton High School athletic director. From everything we saw, it felt like everything went great. But how did it go from your end? How was your first year as Hopkinton High School athletic director?
Yeah, I don't think I could have asked for a better start. The first year was awesome. We have some fantastic coaches. Our student athletes are wonderful. They're well-rounded, and they did a great job, working with me this past year. The community as well, very supportive of the programs, very supportive of our staff. Parents, grandparents, family members, they all came out and supported us in the right way. So I couldn't be happier with how last year went.
Well, it was a fantastic year, a whole lot of great playoff runs, and hopefully we'll get some more of those this year.
Yeah, definitely.
So last spring, you guys started the Hopkinton High School boys volleyball program, and it was kind of like a club team where they didn't really compete in the playoffs or anything like that, but they got to play a good amount of games. Are we going to see the return of the boys volleyball program this year?
Yes, we will. So this spring of 25, the boys volleyball program will be a full-fledged varsity program. They will play 18 to 20 games within the Tri-Valley League, and they'll have an opportunity to make the tournament, just like any of our other teams. And so, I'm really excited about that. And, last spring was an awesome experience. We had about 25 kids sign up to play, and some great coaches, and we made big time strides. And it's a program that I'm really excited about, and I'm hopeful for the future of.
That is terrific. So happy to see that program doing well. Volleyball, we love covering it. Great sport. And I think Hopkinton should have quite the competitive boys team. And they had a very competitive team last year. It seemed like they were right in every game and had some nice wins. So we're excited about that.
Yeah.
All right. So what's going on now in the fall season? I'd imagine you're maybe meeting with the coaches. I know the teams are coming in and tryouts are what, next week or is it this week?
Football starts tomorrow morning, and then every other sport starts next week, next Monday. So, yep, then chatting with our coaches, they're very excited to get going. We have again strong numbers for signups, and we have some promising teams coming up. And so next week we have tryouts, then we get right into scrimmages, and before you know it, we'll be right into the regular season.
Time just flies, doesn't it?
It really does.
Are there any new coaches that the Hiller fans should be aware of this year, or is it the same coaches for the fall?
So, we recently hired a new cheer coach who's been with our program for a couple of years, Rachel Demore. So she is now taking over as the head coach. Other than that, we have been very fortunate for some varsity coaches, but our fall varsity coaches are all set, and they're very seasoned coaches, and they do a great job. So I'm excited to have them all back.
That is fantastic. How was your relationship with all the coaches last year? It seems like you got along well with them.
Yeah, they all, most importantly, they're good people, and they're, understanding, and they work hard. A lot of them are educators in the building, so I got to see them during the school day. Got to start building those relationships with them, and they really care about coaching and they care about their students, and so that makes kind of getting to know them, getting working with them a lot easier. So yeah, I they've been great, and I expect that to continue.
Absolutely. Well, the program has certainly done a good job at picking them, that's for sure. Some great coaches have come through Hopkinton High School.
Yeah.
One thing I'm curious about, do you know of any new rules or any new things that were implemented this year in any of the fall sports specifically? I haven't heard of anything huge, but I was just wondering if you knew anything that we should be aware of.
From a rule standpoint, not really. There was a slight change in a volleyball rule with regards to setting that was made at the college level. I do not know if it actually has made it to the high school level yet, but basically what it allows is for the setter to it gives them a little bit more leeway with their setting. So it should in turn end up getting rid of some of the doubles that we saw last year. So it could lead to some more exciting points. One of the things that I've talked to our coaches about is, and specifically football, this is the potentially the longest possible season because of how early we're starting and the latest Thanksgiving date possible. So we actually have that extra week in the season, in the regular season, where football, we're supposed to have 8 games in 8 weeks. This year, there's actually 9 weeks to play those 8 games. So that first week of 9-6, we're actually playing a scrimmage and not an actual regular season game. So that's kind of a unique part of the season. So we'll also extend all the other fall sports seasons as well. But for football, this is the longest possible season. So
Ah, it's one of those wild years where you have those extra long football seasons.
yeah.
And I understand the football team, they've been trying to get some more opponents that are at their division or higher due to the playoff system. And it looked like there was I don't have the schedule in front of me, but it looked like there was some new opponents on the schedule this year. Uh, have you been in touch with any of the schools that are in a different division? I mean, one school I'd love to see him play is Milford. Is that a possibility in the future?
Definitely a possibility in the future. For this year, we typically for football we play a home and away with an opponent. So this is year two with several of those. So Wayland we played at home last year in a great game. Newton South we played at home last year, so we're on the road against them. The TVL actually Medfield dropped to the small, and Dedham went to the large. So we are playing Medfield as a non-league game, and then we're actually playing Dedham at the end of the season before the tournament starts. And then our biggest and kind of newest game is against St. John Shrewsbury. So we're going to be on the road for that, and that will be a good test. Like you said, a bigger school, a Division I school that um, traditionally has been strong, and it would be a good gauge to see where we're at.
That is going to be a great test. I'm looking forward to that rivalry. Should be a good one. Any new features or programs that are happening this year? Any new sports perhaps coming to Hopkinton High School? I know you're trying to add some programs.
Yeah, I'm always open to it. I sent out a survey at the beginning of last year that to try and get some feedback on where students may be interested. I mentioned girls flag football last year. We weren't able to get it going last year, but I'm hopeful that potentially we can get it going this year in the spring. I've gotten a lot of feedback about a dance team in the winter. It's kind of a growing sport, and I know a lot of students in the high school are doing dance. Within the school itself, we're really trying to focus on student leadership this year, developing better kind of our captain's council, which will, we're going to have kind of a captain's council curriculum. and really work with our student athletes who are leaders in the building, to kind of help them develop as leaders, and hopefully that trickles down into their teams. So that's really the focus for this year. And then, always seeing if there's opportunities to increase participation, whether that be through girls flag football, dance, maybe even badminton. There's a great deal of interest in all of these sports, and so it's just a matter of, do we have the resources? Can we find opponents, and can we make it happen?
Well, they got those new pickleball courts open too now, so I mean, maybe a pickleball team. But I think badminton would be great. There's a big community interest in badminton. They got a lot of community leagues for badminton, so that should be interesting. Well, you're doing some great things, adding these programs. And lastly, how the fields looking? Are the fields ready to go? The rain was a little iffy this summer, but how the fields looking?
They look great. I got to give credit to our maintenance team. They've done a good job the last few weeks getting the fields ready to go. And we have some of the best grass fields in the area, and they look they look the part. So we have uh we have a lot of home football games this year, sub varsity. So hopefully we can, not really beat up one of the fields. But again, we have some great fields, and last year they held up really well. And so this year, I think they're going to do the same, as long as we don't, get a drought or um, have really, really, really wet weather. So, but I think, they're looking in good shape, and our guys will be excited to get back out there.
I'd love to tell you that's not going to happen, but you never know in New England.
I know. I know.
Uh, well, Ricky, I know I'm throwing you a bit in a fire here, but anything that you want to get out there as we head into this fall season?
I just want to say, our teams, they're all awesome. Our student athletes are awesome. Our coaches are awesome. Get out to a game, get out to a game that maybe you wouldn't normally go to. Come support our programs. We've had a lot of success. We continue to have success. And, if you're a community member, we'd love to see you out at games. So, not just football games, come out to soccer and field hockey and volleyball and unified basketball, come out to those games and really show your support.
Absolutely. I'm sure we're going to have some more great teams to watch this year. We're very excited to the fall, and I'll be heading out to some of the practices for their preseason interviews next week. I'm excited about that, and we'll be out there. Our goal is to cover all the home games and maybe throw some road games in there as well. But we're certainly excited about it, and you're doing a great job. Keep up the good work, and thanks so much for talking with us today.
Appreciate it, Tom. We'll see you soon.